What did I order? What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to week 2 of the Fordyce budget build. If you're not familiar with this series, Matt from the Scale Builders Guild and myself took a Vanquish Fordyce RTR, and we've got to upgrade it every week. But rather than our typical fixed dollar amount that we spend every week, this time we are spinning the wheel to determine what we won. This week, I kind of forgot to film or record the portion of the live build separately, so I'll cut to it and then I'll figure out exactly how to work that out. Now, I apologize for having to use this. It's like right on the line.
What did you get? What did you get?
Amazon week.
Yes. Yay!
It is on the line of $25 though.
What does it say?
Oh,
what does it say?
It says Amazon. I'm happier about
Amazon
that because
week.
at least I get $60.
True,
but
65 because you have $5 left over.
Oh, I do have $5 left over.
$65 on Amazon. That's gonna get you. That could get you a whole car. Yeah. You know what you could do? You could just buy a whole other RC and just stick it on the back.
Just take parts off it.
Yeah, this will fit.
God, it makes it so hard to plan because now I have to shop. Like I had things planned, but now I have to like.
See, this is what's great about the way we're doing this now is that Josh's ability to think and plan and set out a whole series of goals is completely obliterated.
So as you can see from the wheel and from the opening, I had Amazon week. That meant that what I install this week had to come from Amazon. And I know that you can get just regular parts off Amazon, but I feel like most of the time people are ordering just junk or knockoff parts off Amazon in general. So I decided that I was going to try and find some things that were not just typical name brand. You could find it at regular places, but instead I was going to try and reach out, find some things a little bit more off the wall, a little bit irregular to pick up and see what we could do. So let's go through what I picked up first, or at least what arrived at this point, and then I'll let you know my plan for each of them. So first off, I think this is the only one actually listed as an RC part, and I'm a little concerned at it in general. This is supposed to be some sort of cargo net, and I was hoping that it'd maybe work on the bed area, but we'll see. It is obviously too long. I wasn't loving it in the first place when I ordered it, but we're gonna see if I can make this. I don't know. It's exactly of the quality I assumed it would have been. I mean, yeah, it's kind of cargo net-ish. We'll see. If I don't use this, by the way, I'm not putting it in my budget. I said what I said. Next, I don't know what this is. Aha! This, I think I do, now I remember. This baggie contained 5 pieces of M4 all thread. And that may not sound all that impressive, but what we're going to do is we're going to go through and I am going to attempt to stretch the front of this Fordyce just a little bit. We're going to play around, figure out the length, and I'm going to push the front end out just a little bit to give us even a little bit better approach angle, a little bit longer wheelbase. It's going to help our performance and just, kind of give it a little bit more of an aggressive look. So we're going to combine these pieces of all thread with this 1/4-inch stainless steel tubing. And this is what we're going to use to make our own custom links. This is a super easy process. And if you've ever wanted to make your own custom links for a project or anything like that, then this is a simple way that you can get it done without much cost. Next, we've got some metal, and specifically, this is some stainless steel mesh. This is actually a 4-pack of this stainless steel mesh. Nice size sheets, good bit of density to the stainless itself. And I'm going to use this to add a little bit of detail to the grill. I'm actually going to take this, cut some pieces of it, and we're going to put it behind the grill, of the plastic grill, and in front of the Lexan body to give it just kind of that backed grill mesh. It's going to be a super simple little modification we can do that'll just add a little bit of visual interest, as I kept saying last week when we did the engine underneath there. So that there. And then lastly, we had one more part come in. The last piece that came in is this, and these are a bunch of individual RGB LEDs. Now, what you would do to actually use them is break them off of this tree and then take an individual puck, or you could leave them stringed together and daisy chain them. But my goal was to take these LED pucks and create my own lighting in a number of places. But the other component that I needed to create these didn't arrive in time. So I'm not going to be able to make my own LED kit this week, but we're going to keep this. I am going to include it in the budget for this week because I do plan to use these. It's just not going to make it into this video, but you will see these come back in a later date. So we have a few tasks to tackle. Let's pick one and dive in. It didn't take me long to determine that this bed net is not going to work for what I was after. To fit this mesh behind the grill, the first thing we need to do is remove the grill from the body. That grill is held on by 4 screws through the core support on the back side of the grill, and then 8 screws that hold the headlight buckets on. This isn't that complicated of a process, but what I like to do is use some blue masking tape to make myself a template by putting it over top of the grill to give myself a rough idea of the shape and any features that I need to avoid. I finished this and installed it and then decided that I wanted to take this a step further. So I quickly designed up a stamp design and 3D printed it. And this is going to give some depth to the design of this grill mesh. This is a pretty minor detail, but if you're into those minor details or you just want to give this metal stamping a shot, I'll upload this STL file for you and you can give it a shot. I've done this a lot of times in the past, and the easiest way to do this is hit it with a hammer. After that, I removed it from the mold, took it and laid it over the grill, made my final marks as far as where I want to trim it, and then put it back under the grill. Reassembled, and again, very minor difference between this with the mesh that's pushed into those grill slots and the standard flat one, but I love to overcomplicate a very simple task. Next, we're going to move on to our front link project. Now, what we're attempting to do here is push the front axle forward. So what I want to do is remove the stock links on the front end, remove the rod ends, and get a measurement of how long the factory link is. From there, after taking a look at the clearances of the front end, I determined that I want to move that front axle forward about 6 millimeters on the lower side. So we're going to take that overall length of the stock lower link, add 6 millimeters, mark that on our all thread, and then just cut it on a saw or a Dremel, whatever you have. Now for the upper link, I'm not going to add the same 6 millimeters. I'm only going to add 4 millimeters instead. This is going to increase my caster a little bit, but it's going to improve my clearances for the panhard and drag link. Once I have those 3 links cut, I'm going to reassemble them with rod ends and put them into the chassis just to make sure that everything clears properly. After confirming that, now I'm going to measure the distance between the shoulders of the rod ends, and I'm going to cut the stainless steel tubing to slide over these links now. Now, with that front end stretched, your drive shaft can be a bit short. Now, if you don't have extra drive shaft parts, an easy thing that you can do to get you by for some time is you can put a little bit of super glue on one side of the slider piece of that drive shaft just to keep it centered. So that wraps up our upgrades for the week. The wheelbase change pushes this from about 12.3 to around 12.8, 12.7 to 12.8. So you're going to see a bit of an improvement in climbability there. Of course, a longer wheelbase affects turning and things like that as well, but just a nice upgrade that doesn't change the look all that much. The visual difference between a 12.3 and a 12.8 isn't all that wild, but just moved that front axle about 5 to 6 millimeters forward. We added the 6 millimeters on the lowers and only 4 millimeter on the single upper link to just keep it pushed forward, but move the axle back a little bit for clearance of the panhard and drag link. Keeps everything kind of in the best middle ground. Gives us a little bit more caster as well. Overall, I think this is just the setup that I prefer. I made the lower links at about 109 millimeters and that upper link at 94 millimeters. Now, if you didn't want to make your own custom links like I just did, you could buy the Vanquish links, which are available in just pairs. So you'd need the 108 millimeter pack and the 94 millimeter pack, and then you'd just be done. That's a little bit easier way to go. They're also titanium, so it's going to be a little bit stronger. The all thread and sleeved method works all right. It's not that bad, but they're not going to be as strong as a one-piece stainless link like came on the truck or the titanium links. So that's just a personal preference thing. If you're a DIY type person, you want to save a little bit of money and you want to learn something new possibly, then give that a shot. I used 3 of the 5 pieces of the M4 all thread, and I used 1 of the sticks of tubing. So I have a lot of material left over. If you wanted to do more links, it would be easy to do with the supplies that you already purchased. Even though I didn't use all of those materials, I'm still going to count them all in the budget, and I don't know what I spent yet, so we'll add that to the tally. The cargo net thing, I don't like it. I'm not going to use it, and I'm not going to count it in my tally. But again, we are going to count the lights for this week since I did purchase those and I do hope to use them in a future episode. The STL file that I used to make the stamped version of the grill, I'll link below. You can download that for free if you like. I'm not going to charge anything to myself as far as like filament or anything like that. And I won't charge you anything for the file. So if you like it, it's a small difference in detail, very minimal. It would take a pretty keen eye to even notice that you took the time to make that little extra detail. If you don't want to do that, just find yourself some generic mesh, cut yourself a square, and put it behind the grill. This is a super easy one, but it's pretty noticeable. You really see that behind the grill there. The clear Lexan that comes factory in there allows you to see through to the radiator that's inside, but adding that little mesh detail there, just the perfect bit of extra touch. Anything that I have left in the budget, we're going to get rolled over into next week, and we'll find out what next week's budget is on the Wednesday live stream takeover. So if you're interested in watching the spin either live or after the fact, go check out those videos. Make sure to go check out Matt's video for this week as well. See what he got into. I do not know what he did yet, so he hasn't told me, and I'm looking forward to watching it as well. So with that, if you enjoyed these videos, hit the like button, subscribe if you're not already, hit the notification bell so you see the videos as soon as they've been uploaded. And as always, thanks again for watching. We'll see you on the next one.